Find out how ER did it. News 3 goes behind the scenes.
It's a real-life ER emergency as Bryan County students are injured in a school bus accident.
And an NBC household name gets the boot.
And now, coverage you can count on. This is WSAV News 3 tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Susan Rodman.
And I'm Jim Carswell. If you were like millions of other folks across the country, you just watched as Hollywood took us back to the days of live TV dramas.
Now, real interesting to see as the cast and crew of ER acted live tonight during their season premiere. Now, they are doing it all over again for West Coast viewers right now, who, as you know, are 3 hours behind our time. They wanted the West Coast viewers to get the same sense and feel of the immediacy of the whole situation.
Yeah, normally what you saw tonight would take about 2 weeks to shoot on film and editing and that sort of thing. Everything you saw this evening was live as it happened. A lot of stress and a very different texture and feel to the show.
It was real interesting to watch. I don't know what you thought about it. We had mixed reviews here in our newsroom. Sarah Edwards is following that story. She joins us now live in our top story from the set of ER in Burbank, California.
I'm on the set of ER. The show just wrapped up, the first live broadcast. Everybody just applauded. They are so thrilled. It went off without a hitch. It was absolutely spectacular. We're trying to get one of the actors over here right now. They're applauding. Who we got coming our way here? Who we got coming our way?
I'm not sure. We got some people that may be coming over this way.
Eric, George, can we talk to you live? Follow me on in. The director, Thomas Schlamy, is coming through. Okay. Carol Flint is the writer of the episode, hugging Eric LaSalle. Eric, how did you think it went tonight?
We're going to Disneyland!
Anthony, George, step on out here. We're live.
He drinks a little bit.
He drinks a little.
Anthony, what did you think about the show? This was your idea with George?
When we do it live, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've taken care of 20 million. Now we've got another 20 million people to do.
Right, that's all.
George, you're hiding back here. What are you doing?
Well, no, I'm just Eric. Yes, I can't get by.
It's only because Peacemaker's opening tomorrow.
So, Eric, how do you feel about it? You're right here.
I'm fine. Here we go.
I got you.
Thank you, baby.
Well, were you nervous? Did you make any mistakes or anything?
Oh, definitely. We made mistakes, but we just, I'll speak for myself. I made a couple of mistakes, but but I just kept on, so.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, I think the operation was definitely a success. Sarah Edwards, NBC News, reporting from the set of ER. Congratulations.
Well, tonight's historic episode of ER might have you wondering, how did they do it?
In live TV, just about anything can happen. Throughout News 3 tonight, we'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at how we bring the news into your home each night. Right now, you're looking at what's going on inside our control room. Live, it's where every element of our newscast really comes together. A little later in Top Story in Focus, we'll show you more from behind the scenes of ER, and throughout News 3 tonight, watch and learn how we do live TV every day. Life in an emergency room is always hectic. This afternoon, News 3 set out to Memorial Medical Center's ER. While we were there, the tension inside the real-life ER turned up a few notches right in front of our cameras. It was sparked by a school bus accident in Bryan County. News 3's Greg Pallone is at Memorial right now. He was there as the scene unfolded this afternoon. So, Greg, what's the latest on the accident and the students?
Well, Jim, the good news is that none of the injuries to the children is life-threatening. Now, 9 of the children were brought here to Memorial Medical Center, 5 by ambulance and 4 by private vehicle. It was a hectic time on the scene in Bryan County this afternoon, as well as here at the emergency room. Georgia State troopers say 22 kids were hurt when their bus collided with this Dodge pickup. Bus driver Linda Gale Sykes pulled into traffic on Payne Road, but didn't see 17-year-old Ronald Scott in his truck. The bus struck the pickup on the driver's side. Troopers say Scott was wearing his seatbelt, wasn't hurt.
She stopped, looked, didn't see anybody, then looked in the rearview mirror of the bus to check on some kids that were standing. And as she then proceeded to enter Payne Road, she collided with the white pickup truck.
The injured children were brought to Memorial and St. Joseph's for treatment. Most were bumped and bruised and simply scared. Some had parents arrive for support, and even a Bryan Middle School teacher showed up to offer comfort to the students.
I don't have kids of my own, but if it had been my child, I would be here, and even if it's not my child, I love my students.
Troopers tell News 3 Linda Sykes will be charged with failure to yield the right-of-way. Now, I also spoke to officials at St. Joseph's Hospital. They tell me 10 of the students who were brought there were treated and released. Now, Jim, later we're going to have a look at what it's like in a real emergency room live.
Thanks, Greg. It's good to see that all these children are going to be okay after that accident. Thanks a lot.
What could be a very disturbing and unbelievable story coming out of Charleston that could affect Savannah tonight. The Coast Guard is supposed to protect our waterways. Tonight, News 3 has learned a Charleston Coast Guard cutter allegedly dumped raw sewage into the Savannah harbor. News 3's Peter Bannon is following that story. He files this report from our newsroom.
I was not able to confirm details tonight, but the Coast Guard station in Charleston told me information will be available on this incident tomorrow morning. According to reports, the Coast Guard cutter Rambler was here for St. Patrick's Day celebrations in 1996. The Rambler, like many other ships, was docked along River Street. Apparently, the Rambler developed problems with the internal sewerage system, and the decision was made to pump raw sewage overboard while tied up at the pier on River Street. Now, this is the same type of serious violation the Coast Guard is supposed to prevent, and there are fines of thousands of dollars a day for it. Here's the bottom line, though. Reportedly, the incident was never passed on to Coast Guard higher-ups and was not uncovered until last January. Since that time, the commanding officer, executive officer, and engineer were relieved of duty. The Coast Guard has apparently received a letter of reprimand from the state of Georgia saying that the fine could have been $50,000 a day. No fine was ever imposed. In the newsroom, this is Peter Bannon, WSAV News 3, reporting in the Coastal Empire.
All right, Peter, thank you. And again, we do expect confirmation of that incident from the Coast Guard sometime tomorrow.
An Atlanta jury resumes deliberations tomorrow in a 26-year-old murder case with connections to Savannah. Prosecutors say Jan Barry Sandlin killed his stepson and tried to pin the blame on his 2-year-old stepdaughter, Tracy Rain. Tracy is now married and living in Savannah. Defense attorneys say Sandlin didn't kill the baby. They say it was the child's mother, Kathy Ullman, who killed the child.
The Catholic Diocese of Savannah answers the prayers of a number of Georgia churches recovering from a series of fires. This afternoon, the 6 churches received $5,000 each to help foot the bill for rebuilding. The money helps churches like the Isle of Hope's Speedwell United
The ashes of these fires may result in a lot more goodwill being expressed between the respective churches as we come together in solidarity of trying to help each other in our hour of need.
Effingham County's Egypt Baptist Church also received money to rebuild. An arsonist hit their church in 1996.
Savannah City Council gives the okay to a funding agreement for the Trade Center on Hutchinson Island. The Trade Center will get most of the city's hotel-motel tax for the first 5 years of its operation, as well as funds for marketing during construction. The center is scheduled to open in the fall of 1999.
A very painful and ugly past relived in Little Rock, Arkansas today. President Clinton symbolically opened the doors to the once all-white Central High School. In 1957, the Little Rock Nine paved the way for school desegregation nationwide. In the early 60s, these students were first to integrate Savannah and Groves high schools. But the battle didn't end until 30 years later. Retired Judge Eugene Gadsden says progress is shattered with racism.
From the way things have been developing recently, you've got to go through the whole process again. They have brought up this concept of reverse discrimination, which is a strategic move to destroy the whole integration process.
Let us know what you think.
Call our exclusive interactive poll. Do you think desegregation achieves quality education for everyone? If you say yes, call 351-7766. If you say no, call 351-7788. Calls are free and will be tabulated by corporate message services. You have until noon tomorrow to call. We'll have the results tomorrow on News 3 at 6 and 11.
Well, Marv Albert is out of a job tonight.
NBC fired the longtime sportscaster today after he entered a plea bargain agreement in his sexual assault trial. Albert today pled guilty to a misdemeanor assault and battery count, as a result ending the trial before it went to the jury. Within hours, NBC fired Albert. The Arlington, Virginia trial was filled with lurid details of his sex life. Albert faces up to 1 year in jail when he's sentenced next month.
Getting to the bottom of taxpayer disputes with the IRS. That's what a congressional subcommittee is trying to do in the nation's capital. 2 days of hearings so far have resulted in a promise from the nation's chief tax collector. He says he'll ban tax collection quotas and make sure other abuses don't happen again.
And it's up and away for the space shuttle Atlantis. It blasted off into space from Cape Canaveral really just a few minutes ago. 7 astronauts are aboard Atlantis, including David Wolf, who is bound for a 4-month stay aboard the Russian space station Mir.
4 months, wow.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Brad Huffine.
He is in our News 3 Weather Watch office tonight. Hi, Brad.
Thanks, Susan and Jim. The weather was a problem down there, at least a concern of the NASA officials before it took off. But it does look like as the weekend settles in, the unsettled weather will also be with us. I'll have my forecast. It's going to be coming up next.
Brad, thank you. And still to come on News 3 tonight, Atlanta tries to dry out after a deluge turns roads into rivers.
And we'll take you behind the scenes here at News 3. We'll look at how we do live TV 7 days a week. It's our top story in focus.
Lights and folks, here we go. We are hot. Stand by and fade your music, please. Roll Digistore.
You're watching WSAV News 3 Tonight with Jim Carswell and Susan Rodman, Chief Meteorologist Brad Huffines, and Bill Edwards Sports. Coverage you can count on.